What are those repeatable tasks that special educators do every single day? Maybe it's reaching for communication log, your schedules, your weekly to-dos, or lesson plans. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about exactly what you need in your special educator binder. Hey, special educators, I'm Jennifer from Positively Learning. Welcome to the Special Educators Resource Room. If you're like me, you're always looking for ways to save time and streamline your work. That's why this podcast was created, to give you the systems and solutions you need to get your time back. Tune in for tips, tricks, and tools that will help you manage your workload and make the most of your time. Whether you're brand new or experienced, all are welcome in the Special Educators Resource Room. Hey, special educators, it's Jennifer from Positively Learning. Thanks so much for tuning in. I feel like this will be the fastest episode ever because I'm simply going to tell you exactly what you need to put in your special educator binder. We're in the middle of a quick, informal mini-series on this podcast. I'm just telling you exactly what you need. The first episode was episode 80, and I talked about exactly what you need to support paraprofessionals. Then last week, in episode 81, it was exactly what you needed in your data binder. This episode is a little bit different. It's those everyday tasks that can make or break your day. They may not seem so serious. We're not talking about writing IEPs. That's next week, by the way. But it can feel serious if you're not organized. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Setting up a binder where everything is in one place. And speaking of one place, I have one link that I will put in the show notes. When you click on that link, you're going to see everything I'm talking about in one place. It's a list that you can use as a checklist. You can use it to check off to make sure you have everything you need. I also have a link to a bundle where I have put all of this together. I call it the Special Educators Toolkit. Think of it as your go-to binder that has everything you need for those daily tasks. You probably don't even realize how much you're doing until you can't find that one piece of paper that you need. So what do you need in your Special Educator Toolkit? As I read off this list, I want you to think, yes, I have that. No, I don't need that. Or, yes, I need that, and I don't have that yet. Ready? You'll need some type of schedule or calendar. Maybe it's a full planner. Maybe it's a week at a glance, a month at a glance, a year at a glance to plan out those meetings. Or maybe it's a daily checklist. I've included tons of options, but you really need to find out what's going to work for you. Quick side note, I've struggled to find the perfect planner, and I've tried so many digital, so many paper-based, and I would try them out. I liked them, but they just didn't have staying power. One thing that has really helped me, and I think you could apply this to everything we talk about in this podcast episode, is to think about the end result. What is the purpose of this item in our toolkit? For me, I needed somewhere where I could just dump what was going on or what was coming up and get it out of my head. For me, this looked like a one-pager, either a daily or weekly to-do list. I didn't need it to be a full planner. I also liked having the year at a glance so I could see what's coming up and there were no surprises. Other schedules that you might need are related service providers. When are they going to be picking up students that you work with? Or a schedule for your small groups, looking at it a week at a glance. In this toolkit, I also have a set of desktop wallpaper. And when you look at it, you're going to see why I'm suggesting it. It's organized by all of the things that you need easy access to, including your schedule. All right, if this is going to be the fastest episode ever, I better get a move on. What else do you need in your toolkit? Highly recommend having some type of communication log or form that works for you. I always wanted mine to be pretty open-ended so that I could use it for a variety of situations. I could also have anyone working in the classroom use the same type of form. So I liked mine open-ended because I was required to transfer that information into our IEP online system, which was not very user-friendly. So I still wanted to have a paper form that I could quickly jot down everything, and then I could transfer the important information into that system. In addition to these communication forms and logs, you also want to have an ability to quickly access your caseload roster and I had a plan for how I was going to be communicating with families and caregivers. I actually created a set of monthly letters to send home to families, sort of like a newsletter. They're editable so that you could either use them exactly as is or customize them for the families that you're working with. I spent a lot of time creating these letters, and they are written in such a way that you can use them every single year. What other types of things do I have access to in the Special Educators Toolkit? I have a series of cheat sheets. You can use these as reference or as handouts. This includes special education acronyms, the 13 disability codes, confidentiality and FERPA handouts, percent reference chart, a normal bell curve reference chart, intervention strategies, and an accommodations bank. All right, this list is just starting to get long. I would also want to include lesson plan templates that you can reach for, a co-teaching kit if it applies, everyday checklists, and service trackers. Thinking about the items I've listed so far, it feels pretty random. That's actually the point. These are the things that you're trying to juggle each and every day. Having some type of special education toolkit is going to help you stay organized when all of these tasks are threatening to take over. Switching gears just a little bit, there are some things that you're going to be using at the beginning of the school year to help you get organized. I've included these items in the Special Education Toolkit. The first item is templates. I created an entire set of Canva templates for teachers. This includes your email signature, labels for your classroom, nameplates, name tags, reminder notes, postcards, daily to-do pages, weekly pages, monthly pages, annual pages, newsletters, checklists, and more. I also have a set of templates that you can use for Meet the Teacher Night, both printables and slides. In this toolkit, I've also included a printable bulletin board set and a printable set of classroom decor that's specific for the resource room setting. I know in the past I've found so many great classroom decor sets, but I wasn't able to use everything because it didn't all apply. This is a set especially for special education teachers. Ugh, this podcast episode did not go as planned. I was so excited to share with you some time-saving and organization tools that you can assemble together to make your own special education toolkit. But now that we've gotten to the end, I feel like I've just dumped a plate of spaghetti on you. Just all these different things. It probably stressed you out more than you felt at the beginning of this episode. I truly am sorry. That was not my intention. I'll put a link in the show notes so that you can see everything I talked about today in an organized format. Use this as your checklist. Hopefully, many of these things you already have. You already have these, and this is just the last step to get them organized. I do believe that this would make such a difference for you, whether it's getting ready for back to school or any time you feel you need to get on top of those administrative tasks. If it sounded so confusing listening to this episode, which it probably did, imagine how it would feel in the middle of the school year if you didn't have these things ready for you. All right, I don't know if that just made it better or worse. Thanks so much for listening. Next week, we are going to conclude this series in exactly what you need. And we're going to be talking about the IEP process before, during, and after your next IEP meeting. Catch you next week in the Special Educators Resource Room. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'm dying to ask, what'd you think? Be sure to hit the follow or subscribe buttons so that you never miss an episode. You can find the show notes and links for everything mentioned in this episode at positivelylearningblog.com. See you next week for more special education solutions.